Have you ever heard something so laughable, so ridiculous, so utterly preposterous that you're convinced the person speaking to you is joking? So, yesterday I was speaking to a mate of mine in the demolition industry. He was telling me about a project he's waiting to start just a few miles from where I'm sat right now. And he invited me to pay the site a visit when the project gets underway. When are you due to start? I asked innocently. His answer was surprising. I have no idea, he said. All the kit is there, but we're waiting for. He then told me that his project was held up by the absence of a single piece of paper. Now, before I tell you what that piece of paper is and what it stands for, let's wind back a bit to just before the general election when Sir Keir Starmer pledged to build 1.5 million new homes in about the first fortnight of his new reign. There is no question it was a very good soundbite, and the left leaning media leapt upon it as if Mr. Starmer was the saviour of the huddled masses. Those in the construction industry, however, shrugged and sniffed at the mere notion. We have never hit the existing house building levels, so what makes him think we can hit even higher levels? Some asked. Doesn't he realise we have an industry-wide skills shortage? Asked others. Who the hell is going to build all these new houses? And then there were those that pointed to the glacial pace of local authority planning departments, or to the house builders who so enjoy sitting on great swathes of prime house building land until the price suits them best. Yet amidst all of that, there was not a single mention of an apparently vital piece of paperwork that could conceivably prevent one or multiple houses being built. All of which takes me back to my original story about the demolition contractor. The vital piece of paper that he is currently waiting for is, wait for it, a mouse license. I want to say that once again, just in case you think you misheard me. A mouse license. James Bond 007, license to mouse. Apparently, the project is currently stalled because they need a mouse license to proceed. And they need a mouse license to proceed because there is evidence that the site is one or more dormice. Now, my first house after I left the family home was located right by a river, and I can tell you that dormice and voles had no issue whatsoever with coming into my house, but as it transpires, we can't enter theirs without a license. I was so staggered at this notion that I had to check, and there, right as rain, on the gov.uk website is an entire page dedicated to how you apply for a dormice mitigation license. It's called an A35, just in case you ever need one. Now, it's important to say at this point, I am an animal lover. With the possible exception of wasps and Jack Russell Terriers, which are obviously the wasps of the dog world, I love all animals, and I certainly wouldn't want to see any of them harmed during demolition or construction works. But have we got our priorities just a bit skewed here? We've identified the need for 1.5 million additional new homes for humans. But those humans are required to play second fiddle to mice and lice, dogs and frogs, bats and cats, newts, lizards, birds, rodents, and a variety of furry and feathery creatures that fly, crawl, or scuttle about in an unsettling manner. Imagine you're one of the many that is desperately seeking a new home for yourself and your family. You've paid your deposit, chosen your curtains, and you've informed the post office of your imminent change of address. And then you get a phone call to tell you that your moving in date has been pushed back because Mickey and Minnie Mouse fancy a lion after a night on the sauce round at Goofy's house. Sir Keir Starmer's house building pledge was already set in a fantasy world in which there are no skill shortages or planning delays. A world in which buildable land is readily available and where house builders frolic in the sunshine, just waiting for their next big adventure. Seemingly, his fantasy world is devoid of dormice too. I just wanted to say well done on making it all the way to the end of this video. If you liked it or if you got value from it, please hit the like button. If you really, really liked it, please consider subscribing. But if you really, really, really liked it, then perhaps you'd like to leave us a tip over at buymeacoffee.com/demolition news. Those tips and donations really do help to support this channel. It's not compulsory though. Please only do so if you can afford it. Now, while you're here, why not watch another one of our films?